Hey everybody, this video is concentrating on the roller coasters at Kings Island and the impact the rides had on the coaster world. This video will not include every coaster that has ever been at Kings Island, just those ones that have had a major impact, broke records, or a couple have honorable mentions. In 1972, the park opened with two roller coasters, the Racer and Scooby-Doo, also known today as Woodstock Express. The Racer is said to be solely responsible for reigniting the coaster building and the start of what would be the Coaster Wars. The Coaster Wars, which catches fire years later. Then, in 1977, the Screamin' Demon opened and was the only forwards and backwards shuttle looping coaster. Once again, another first, another splash in the coaster world. Then, in 1979, Kings Island unleashed the Beast on the world and made a huge statement. The Beast, after 40 years, is still the longest wooden roller coaster in the world at 7,359 feet, which equivalent 1.41 miles. It debuted as the biggest, baddest, longest, fastest wooden roller coaster in the world. Still to this day, is widely considered the best night ride in the industry. Huge spot in coaster history. Then in 1981, the Bat opened, a completely new type of coaster. The suspended coaster, while only open for a couple of years and was down half the time, this was a tough credit. Once again, big impact on the coaster world with a completely new type of coaster, as it was the first suspended coaster model. We'll get to that later. Then in 1984, Togo introduced a stand-up coaster. King Cobra opened. This was the first ground-up stand-up coaster. Others have been converted. King Cobra was another first at the park, a revolutionary impact for this type of model. Then the Vortex opens in 1987 and was the first coaster to flip you upside down 6 times. The Aero Looper, once again, some first in the industry. Vortex was removed after the 2019 season. Rest in peace, Vortex. In 1993, Top Gun Aero Suspended Coaster, as a tribute to the Bat that failed over a decade earlier, which was a first of its kind in 1981, as mentioned earlier. This coaster kind of made up for what was a disaster in the Bat. Flight of Fear opened in 1996, which was the first ever LSM launch coaster. This was indoors and themed heavily inside. This was innovative at the time. Another first for Kings Island. 1999, Invertigo, or opened as Face Off, an inverted boomerang. 3 forward inversions, 3 backward inversions. While not a huge impact on the world, a huge impact was on its way. Just 1 year later, Son of Beast opens in 2000 and shattered several world records. The first wooden hypercoaster, the tallest, the fastest, only looping wooden coaster in the world at 218 feet tall with a 214-foot drop at nearly 80 miles per hour, 78.6, while this coaster is maybe the most infamous coaster ever built. This, with Millennium Force at Cedar Point, basically blew away every coaster record in existence. With the Beast being the longest wooden coaster, Ohio held every major record known for about 2 months. Meanwhile, Son of Beast records have still never been broken as far as traditional wood coasters, and may never be broken. I am not going to focus on the negatives with the Son of Beast, as that is a dead horse. I try to focus on the positives. While the coaster had its problems and was removed and people were injured, it was very innovative for the time. Then, Vekoma opened a suspended family coaster, Flying Ace Aerial Chase in 2001. While not innovative or record-breaking, this once again was needed and gave kids another coaster and different one for new thrills, rounding out a nice wood, sit-down steel, and inverted steel lineup in the children's area, which has been voted the best children's area in the world for 16 straight seasons. In 2007, we got Firehawk from Geauga Lake. Once again, no records, but only 3 Flying Dutchmans was ever built. So this needed to be mentioned. As there was only 3 models, Kings Island had 1. Once again, trying to become a park that was carrying something that was rare, or a first of. Then in 2009 came Diamondback, a 230-foot hypercoaster by B&M at nearly 80 miles per hour, and the only hypercoaster with a splashdown. This ride was widely considered a top hypercoaster in the world. A solid impact with the splashdown, but no records. Then comes Banshee in 2014, the longest invert roller coaster by B&M, and one of few with no pre-drop, and at speeds of 68 miles per hour, 7 inversions, is tied with the most by an invert coaster. 68 miles per hour for Banshee, by the way, is the fastest inverted coaster with a chain lift, or not launched. In 2017, Mystic Timbers, a GCI Woody, was built. It did not break any records, but because of Mystic being built, Kings Island now has the most wooden coaster track of any park, and Mystic Timbers is considered a top 3 GCI by almost all enthusiasts. The out and back style gives a fast-paced ride and full of airtime from start to end. While there are better parks, better coasters, and maybe even better experiences, everyone has to give Kings Island credit. Instead of being biased or otherwise look at the history, good and bad, one thing for sure, Kings Island has always worked hard to deliver for the enthusiasts and the fans. Even if they failed a few times, they at least attempted what others did not. And in some cases, like the Bat, even got it right later on. I hope you enjoyed this video, as I had fun making it. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button down below, and give me a big old thumbs up. Until next time, see you on the tracks.